We've talked throughout this year in our study of Romans about Jew versus Gentile and the differences, but they are one now in the gospel. And what's interesting here is the English word for Gentile is the Greek ethnos. It's where we get our English word ethnicity. And so on a deeper level here, Paul is referencing all people, all nations, all backgrounds. In other words, what Paul is saying is this message, this good news of God's plan of grace that we celebrate at Christmas, it's for everyone, everywhere. I think one of the best representations of this truth is a nativity scene. Who all sets up a nativity scene around Christmas? Show of hands. Yeah, this is a cool time for us with our 3-year-old Madison now because she knows more of what's going on, and it becomes this moment of wonder, right? Like her eyes just light up in curiosity as we're setting out different pieces and telling the Christmas story. And so we're gonna set up a nativity scene together this morning, but quick caveat, this is not Holly and I's. Between 2 dogs and baby Lucy, who all like to chew things, like poor Joseph's arms hanging on by a thread, and one of our lambs is like a sacrificial lamb now because its head's chopped off. Now this is my mom's. Hey mom, dad said it was okay for me to use this. I promise I won't break it. Pray for steady hands this morning, guys. But here we go. As we build this, I want to invite us into a question of wonder around where were hearts on that first Christmas? You know, we have to start first with Mary and Joseph. We don't know much about them, but the Bible gives us enough of a glimpse into their lives that we can have an idea of where their hearts might have been on that first Christmas. They're a young couple engaged to each other. Joseph's in his 20s, Mary's a young teenager, and it seems like they have a good life ahead of them. They don't have much, like Joseph's just a poor carpenter who doesn't make much money, but they have each other. But it wouldn't have taken long in the town of Nazareth of only about 400 people for the rumors of Mary's pregnancy to spread. Now, she said, an angel came to her and said, hey, you're gonna be miraculously with child by the power of the Holy Spirit, and it's God's son. But really, Mary? Seriously? You just wonder the whispers happening behind her, the judgmental stares, maybe the labels that were placed upon her. Damaged goods, worthless. And you just wonder if any of this made its way back to Mary. Does she just find herself full of tears at night, clinging on to God's promises to her from the angel? And what about Joseph, right? What about when he finds out? How does he probably feel? Betrayed? Lied to? Maybe ashamed to be associated with Mary? Matthew's gospel tells us that he wanted out of the engagement until an angel came and told him, hey, everything Mary's saying is true. But to enter into this marriage as a stepdad with all of the rumors swirling around? Mary and Joseph make their way to Bethlehem, Joseph's hometown, to be recorded for a census. And Mary's about to give birth, but the problem is there's no housing. Right? And that kind of makes sense, right? A lot of people have probably come into town for the census, but Joseph has family there. Like surely someone in Joseph's family had room to squeeze them in to their home. Mary's about to give birth. Unless maybe Joseph's family was a little worried about the optics of being associated with this couple seemingly marked by scandal. Can you imagine that first Christmas night? Mary is writhing in the physical pain of childbirth, and not to mention probably the emotional and the mental pain of remembering all the judgmental glances and all of the whispers. And Joseph, I wonder if he's feeling shame after being turned away door after door, and all he's wanted to do is to be able to provide for his wife, and now she's laboring in a cave full of animals. Like seriously? And you just wonder if the questions set in like the darkness around them. Questions like, Father, if this is really your son, why does all of this seem so difficult? Like, was this actually your plan? I think if we had to assign some descriptors of Mary and Joseph's hearts on that first Christmas, we could use words like doubting and questioning. And as I say that, I want to ask you this question. Have you ever felt that way? Do you see yourself here? When you're trying to cling to God's promises, but they seem overshadowed by life's current reality in front of you, whether it's the unexpected diagnosis or the relationship that's falling apart despite your prayers, or the financial crisis that's shaking your faith. And it seems like every door is closing, and the only prayer you can lift up to God is, why, God?